Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's knock this fan off actually for a little bit. It's Greg here again with finally another update on the buddy build and appreciation build. This is my good friend Steve. Sorry I haven't been about as much. With the weather's been taught, I haven't really got to the bench as much as I would like to have, and obviously you can't really spray when the weather's like that. So, but I've got a lot done. Even so, luckily I got most of the spraying done before the weather got too hot. So let's just go through where we are and what's got to be done. Right, so we'll start off with the dio with the flatbed on. As you can see, since then I've added a couple of railway lines and rusted them up, weathered them up, and my plans for that are to add a bit of railwaymen's stuff. So in this little pot here we've got shovels, a pickaxe, a hammer, a little lantern, what else? A tarp isn't a part of it, a couple of gas cans or fuel cans or oil cans, whatever you call it. And if you look very, very closely, I've actually made some little rivets. If you can see them, let's have a look. Let's see if I can pick one up. That's it. I made some little rivets as well. Let's just put it on the back of my hand. Made some little rivets, and they're going in a bucket, so that bucket full of rivets as if they needed to, or bolts I should say, not rivets, as if we're going to fasten the new bit of line to it. And I've kept the 4 parts which was over extra for the tracks to join them. So we've got, I've drilled out the holes on them again, on the back of my hand again. I've drilled out the holes, so we'll just put them on there as well as the railway lines. And the little lantern, which came on, I think it was a mini art set. So again, that's going to go on there as well. Little mini art set there, so it'll look quite nice as a little lantern on there, just to, you know, if there's anybody building anything or doing anything on the track, they can shine that torch to tell the train there's someone on the line. And that's it really in there. And a couple of there's a pickaxe, there's a shovel, there's a sledgehammer, there's the oil cans, there's the bucket, which is got a little cloth in, and it's going to have the rivets, the bolt heads in there. And I'm going to cut off some little nuts from the Meng nut and bolt set. I may just try and stick them on the ends. I'll see how we're going with them. If I'm clever enough, I might be able to drill little holes out of them. I'll have a go, see what happens. So there's nothing else done with the flatbed yet. And so this is all going to be dusted off. It's got a bit of dust on there and a bit of bits and bobs. So this is still going to be marked up and weathered, and you know, dust and muck and grime and oil stains and the usual things that you find on flatbeds. You know, could be drips from the tanks, it's been fuel, like oil leaks, everything. So that's that done. So this is, I'm not too sure if this is finished on the colouring yet. I'm unsure. I'll have a look. I'll think about it. But I'm gonna have all the little bits of railway stuff around here, I would say, just plonking on the top of them rails there. Just instead of putting a few, I've sprayed some grass tufts up as well, so I've sprayed them. So look, a couple of dotted about here and there, not many, just there just to add near of a time. This is a mix of all the pigments I use for the we've got in here from the tank as well. Actually, for the Sturmtiger we have 2mm straw. I think it's by Works Game Shop or something like that. Works Game Shop. Where did I put it? Right, it's in here. Just a second, I'll tell you exactly where it is and who makes it. As per normal, not organised. hopefully it's still on the top of the road. It isn't on these ones, is it? You've got two greys. I've got this grey, sorry, this length, I think that's 6mm, and this is the 2mm. I can't remember, I took the labels off. I can't remember who made them now. I'm sure you'll be able to pick them from most of the sort of diorama stuff and war game and stuff, I would have thought. Very nice. I've got some in these light pigments in European earth and all that kind of stuff. Just that's for basically I use that to weather the well, one part of it to weather the lower hull, the wheel under. Put my teeth in behind the wheels and that. I spent a good 2 days messing around with doing it all, and I've put the wheels on and you can't see anything. So, but never mind. I know it's there. So that's that. Right. So let's pop these back on here. And we'll push this back around here. And we'll bring in the little Sturmy. So I've got quite a lot done since you last seen it. Not quite finished yet. It's not finished. We'll zoom in and see what we've got. Let's bring this down. And we'll come back out here a little bit. There we go, that's about right. Yeah, as you can see, I've quite a bit done. The storage is just dry fit there, and my mate Al said he didn't like the blue, but this is just the tissue. It's moulded into the shape of the rear tank, and all it is just blue. Industrial hand roll, I suppose it is. Big thick rolls of it. Yeah, so I've got on there, let's say this is dry fit. This is going partially by the rear of the vehicle that I've got the picture for. The tracks is on there, there's one of the boxes on there, this tarp's on there, the shovel isn't, I don't know if you can see, so the shovel isn't. Let's say this place on, and there's a little helmet there, German helmet there as well, which I presume it could even be American because it's been captured on the back of a thing, but I've left it as a German one. And this rope, just dab it on there as well. This is all going to be finished off here at the back. The camo pattern I did all freehand in the end, as it could not mask what I wanted, so I did it all freehand with a 2mm, sorry, 2mm, 0.2mm nozzle and needle on my Evo. Where have I got Evo from? On my little Ultra one, 2mm needle on mine. Oh, God's sake, my 0.2mm needle and nozzle on my Harder and Steenbeck Ultra. Yeah, it's a cheap little brush as far as name brush bands go, but it's a good little brush. And that was of my good friend Steve, which I'll get round to in a moment and tell you where things are with my good friend. Yeah, so I did that freehand, and these are, I'll show you the picture at the end anyhow, what it's trying to represent. And after I painted that, obviously I give it a couple of coats of gloss, and I could start doing a bit of oil work on it, and pigment oil work and chipping. Used the dark mud for the pin wash, and then I did a hand chipping on this as well as sponge. I used chocolate, was it chocolate? To start off with, to the lower, cocky now, excuse my language as well. The base colour I lightened, and I added, start again. I did lighter tone to the base colour, and that's what I used for the first application of chips. I sponged that first, and then I did a few more chips, blending them together with a brush, and then I started with the rusts. Sorry, I didn't start with the rusts. I used chocolate black brown, which is a Vallejo, and it's 70822 chocolate German brown black brown, which I found really quite good for pin washes. I don't like using black. I think it's too dark, if you understand what I'm saying. And then I went on with the oils. Just did these with oils, different. I think I did a couple of. I did obviously a rust, a light rust, and an oxide patina as well, which are all oil paints from the, you know, the. Oh, my mouth won't work today for some reason. It's the oil paints. What's the name of the company? Brain dead today, I'm sorry, but there's 3 colours of oil paints, and then blended with just some normal odourless spirits, and to get the effect that I wanted. So this has got to be fastened in yet when we're ready there. And then I just did a filter of the same oil paint as the pin wash, just a very light filter, just to, you know, dull it down a bit. And then I sprayed it with a matte coat, and I've gone around and picked some of the individual bolt heads out on here. There's not many bolts on this one actually, on the and on the rear, and again just where bolts are I've added to and whatever. And the front, let's bring it up to the camera. You see the front, there's 2 handles on the bottom and there's a handle on the top, and they're on the vehicle I'm roughly representing, but they're not in the kit as such. It didn't show you in the kit, but on the box art it shows you them. Yeah, the guns might just give it a little bit of a clean inside, make it a bit more shiny before I add the little figurines going in there. As I say, I've just done a bit of rust streaking, a bit of dust, not a lot, just a little bit in pieces. And the Zimmerit again, did a night shift sort of similar thing to what he does with the deck tan, and blended it. And I've actually done a few bits and pieces of rust actually on the oxide as well, on the little chips again. And then I did the speckling with the deck tan as well, to represent other little chips and bangs and prangs in the Zimmerit. And then I did a neutral wash, just a little, well, it wasn't even a wash, it's more of a filter again, just to bring out the Zimmerit pattern, just a little bit on that. Let's turn it around on each side. And on this side I have got one of the pistol ports hanging out on a chain. I've got that done, and tools. We've got the hammer and the axe on there, and little bits of PE everywhere that aren't being used, but they are on the vehicle, as you can see there. And these side skirts are, well, you've seen them, they're a PE set. These need finishing yet. The whole tank needs weathering yet, you know, dust and that on there. Yeah, it's not quite finished yet on there. And on the rear, this is where the best shot of the tank I've got. It's got the three or four bullet holes, sharp impact on the back. It's going clean through and into the radiators and fans and fuel tank. So obviously it's made a mess. And again, I've done that night shift thing with the speckling again, and gone around with the deck tan and blended that in again. So that's not finished yet, this side isn't finished yet, that's got to be added to, yeah. And the PE, one of the shrouds is missing on there, obviously on the pictures the same, and it looks like a white ceramic bucket, so I've just sort of mixed, you've seen that close up, so I've just added that to it. And in a big part on here, I did like a burn pattern from the exhaust with one of my weathering masters. I think it was the let me just get it, I'll tell you which one it is. It's a weathering master, which one of the little Tamiya things I've had for ages and never really used it much, and I thought, oh, I'll give it a go, see what happens. It's weathering pack D, and it's got burnt blue, burnt red and oil stain on it. and that's basically what I used to get the burn pattern on the back, where it's gone right through the paint and on the exhaust. I thought it was just something different to add. And then it's obviously it's all been banged and chipped and bent out of shape, and there again same with the jack. There should have been obviously where them shell impacts are, that should have been where the jack block is, and there's no light on there either, that's been just left with the bracket. On the bottom there I've got one of the S-hooks onto the shackles, it's got the tow hook on the back on that side. And on the front you can see I've got the C-hook on the shackle, you can just see it there. And if you look closely underneath is where that's basically what I've done behind the wheels, which I used. I'll go through the list of what I used to get the effect I was after, and then it all hides behind the wheels, but never mind. I used this as a base, acrylic mud by MIG. I'll put that along the bottom, and it's obviously acrylic so you can blend it with water, so you can do that fairly simply, and that's just to get the base, you know, a bit of texture behind the wheels even though you aren't going to see it. And then I added the pigments, which I showed you, the mix of pigments when this was still wet so it stuck to it, and then I just did a little bit of the pigment fixer. I've picked these up off, I think it was AliExpress, little bottles with pin applicators on the top, and perfect for doing pigments. You know, go straight to the sauce, as I say. So I ate that, and then I added the pigments, and then I went on there again and I had a bit of the dry splatter mud up there again and blended that with the rest of it to get the different tones in the muck. I used, starting off with the lightest colour first, which was Kursk Soil, which is a MIG product, and then gradually getting to the darker one. We've got Earth, which is a MIG one, and all these were just blended with Modulus Spirit, and finished off with this Kursk Summer Earth. Blended that in again, just, you know, got a few streaks here and there behind the whip, so you can't see it unfortunately, but never mind, never mind. I know it's there. I know it's there. Yeah, so that's what the behind the wheel, so that's what I've now got to replicate on the tracks, even though I don't want the tracks too dusty, too dirty, because it's on the back of the flatbed. But like I say, the tracks, these are the kit tracks, and they went on no problem at all, and you've seen all the wheels how I did them. But I say these have got to be weathered here with the dust and the muck and things. And see that bent muck guard there, there's got to be a bit of rust work on there as well. I'm quite pleased how it's coming out. See on this side, and then on the other side the same thing again. The tools, the shovel and the pry bar, and again I left one, this is because you can see it on the picture, there's one muck guard being ripped off, and I don't know if you can quite make it out. Let me just see if you can make it out. But I added, you can see it along the sides, I added the bolts in there as if it'd been ripped off and the bolts have stayed in. So I sort of tried doing that. You can see them or not with the profile, and again I did the similar sort of thing with the exhaust shroud. I left the bolt heads on, and as if I'd just been completely ripped off and the bolts were still on. Don't know how accurate that is, but I thought it was just something different for a change on there. And so this is, you've seen that, and that's just all weathered again with the oils and things like that, nothing elaborate or special, just the oils from 501, there we are, 501 paints. Can never pronounce the second word properly anyhow, so that's all them paints are, the oil paints. And there again you can see the few bolt heads that I've actually added just a little lighter colour on top of the exhaust stacks there. And if you look closely on this side where the water goes into the radiator, sorry, into the, yeah, to the radiator. I've added the water and dirtied that up, and then sort of rust stain around it if it's dried up and left a watermark around there. I did the same on the other side when I remembered I've got storage to go over that. So, and then on that side that's going to be finished. That's got fuel on there, so I need to finish that one. Yeah, as I say, there's a few stains and things on the back there, nothing too much. But yeah, it's quite pleased with that. And then I got the periscope in there, which use the armoured glass, and then I'll just finish it off with the wet effects, just to give it like basically a gloss, to give it a shine. Let's see from the way better how what it's going to look like in the end. And there. I think that's about it really. Figures are still the same, but they were finished anyhow, so they're to go on there. And the chocks are finished, and that, what they say, they've got a couple of the oil cans to go on there yet, onto the actual bed of the I might as well put them on there and they're out of the way then. They're going on there, onto the flatbed with a couple of jerry cans and like a siphon, as if they've been siphoning fuel out of the drums to go into the vehicle. Just something different again, it's not accurate or anything like that again. The tracks, you've seen me how I've done those, explain to them how I've done those. And for the kid tracks, I found them really nice to go together. You've got a jig, you can't go wrong with them. My only complaint with the tracks is the pins are just a little bit too short. If you don't push them in properly, then it will come apart on you. But if you get them in properly, they're okay. Maybe that's just a fraction of a bit longer. That's all. Not a lot at all. So, but yeah, I think we're there. There's a couple of things I want to say. I'll say about Steve first. He's not doing too good again. He's been in and out of hospital again with having his fits and his general health. So he's not been good, unfortunately. He tries his best, poor. Like I say, I am going down to see him as soon as I can. It's just getting the time to go down and see the poor fella with one thing and another in my own life. But we'll get down there probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We'll go and see him and see how he's doing, and take him some bits and bobs down for him. And yeah, a call out to Rims Models. Well, he has a brother, I found out, and he's into his model railways, and I think it's called Rimmer Junction. So if I leave the link to his channel on there, you can pop across and see if anybody is into the old trains. I don't mind watching some of the train guys, because you can get some good ideas from them. Very good ideas, in fact. So it's very worth popping up. I think he's only just recently started his channel, so I don't know how much he's on there, but I haven't been across myself yet, which I was going to do tonight. But I thought I may as well give him a plug and get him a few subscribers. So that's Rob's brother from Rims Models. Is Rimmer's Junction, that's the name of the channel. And also George, from Morpho Damon. Give that lad a good look at as well. He does everything by paint by hand. He doesn't have an airbrush, and he does some really remarkable work with a brush. He really does. So it's worth calling, giving George a look at as well. I'll leave a link into his site as well, so you can go and have a look at George's work. He's a nice guy, really nice guy. I think that's about it. Nothing else I've got to say. I'll keep you updated with Steve in the next update and things like that. The next update, this will be finished, so I shall know more probably about by then, see how he's getting on again. I speak to him now and again by text, and I speak to his sister again by text as well. She keeps me up to date with his health, which is a shame. I've never known a guy to have so much bad luck over the last few years, but that's hopefully things can improve for the guy. He's never going to be the old Steve we know. That's unfortunately that's not going to happen, but let's hopefully he gets back to some normality. Yeah, feel sorry for him, really do. He's such a kind-hearted gentleman, as you all know. So I think we're about there. I think there's nothing else to say, nothing else I've got to add to this. Apart from I've enjoyed the build. I know it's took a long time. I say I don't tend to rush. I just tend to model in the afternoons, and that's about it really. I don't model in the evenings. 4 or 5 hours, and by then I've had enough because of my own health. I don't tend to stick around too much. I was going to have Lucas on here today with his granddad again. He's grown up so fast. He's starting to smile and gurgle and all this kind of thing. But his grandma's took him out for a walk, so hopefully on the final reveal we'll have Lucas on. We'll have him on here. So thank you very much to all my new subscribers, old and new. Again, thank you for the superb comments. I really do appreciate them. I know I don't answer back, but I really do appreciate them. Really do. So this is Greg signing off, and we'll see you with probably an unboxing before the end of the week. And then after that we shall be doing the final reveal of the Sturmtiger and Flatbed. You know, memorial, bloody hell. Built for Steve, my mate. So yeah, we'll go from there. So it's Greg signing off, and we'll see you very soon.